Welcome back to What Sam Said. Have you ever had someone to say to you in a meeting or in a session, professional development, otherwise, can you explain it just one more time? I don't see it yet, is the thought that went through my mind. So you realize you got one or two things that you can do. You can just say, okay, and then go off to yourself and work it out, or you can just walk out of the meeting like I don't get it. I had to understand that there's a difference between what is needed and what is wanted. And sometimes the paths are not necessarily aligned, as the path to success is not always a straight path. Sometimes it kind of wiggles on you. I remember one of my former supervisors saying, just find something, Sam. I was a newly appointed elementary principal. The school I was at was number 33 out of 34, but just find one thing that you and your staff, your student body can rally behind and just focus on that. I said, okay, I'll do it. He said, stop looking at where you are, what your students have or don't have, and the percentage that cannot read on grade level. Focus on where you are headed, on what you have. I said, yes, sir, I will. One of the bus drivers from my prior school sent me a text message a few weeks ago congratulating me on an event or a task that I had won. And she said, I remember pulling up into the parking lot and seeing you out there picking up trash. And I said, there he go talking to God. And I kind of smiled and I said, yes, and I still do that today. Sometimes we kind of forget about those tasks, those meanable, actionable items that got you where you are. How can a leader, a manager, a department head, for example, just walk into a building and it's not yours, you don't own it yet, the task of elevating children, but you walk over paper, for example, and it's never been me. I'll go back, if something in my hand, I'll go back, I'll put it down, and I'll come back and I'll pick up the paper, because what people see when they ride back speaks louder than what they may see when they go into the building. So I said, well, I'm not going to leave it out there. I'm going to pick it up. I've shared the story when I first started out in education. We didn't have a custodian. We didn't have anyone to do those jobs. It was Christian education. And so part of your role or title as a principal was you got to pick up the trash. You got to clean the restrooms. You got to help set up for the after school program. So you learned at an early age, if it's going to be, it's up to me. And I realized then about the value of leadership, because no one really knows what you do. They see what you do. So I walk down the halls and I pick up trash and I would clean the restrooms and I would help serve lunch and then set the room back up for the after school program. But I didn't realize, but I was learning those skill sets, those actionable items that I needed to keep in my Felix the cat bag of tricks, because I never knew when I was going to be able to need them or use them again. What are some practices that you've worked on? I remember when I became an elementary principal, I was walking down the hall one day and Miss Jackson, her name was at that point in time, said, I think we should have a yellow party, Mr. West. And I said, a what? You know, I was new to the terminology and the buzzwords. I said, what's a yellow party? She said, most of our students are red or yellow. They don't understand the principles of being successful yet. And so let's have a yellow party, Mr. West. We got to come up out of where we are. And I felt the same way. I said, so, okay, we got an action. We have a meeting tomorrow. And one of the action steps that I will bring up for us to discuss is this yellow party. So Miss Anderson, who was my assistant principal at the time, she said, West, you are you're a vision caster. We vision carriers. And I was like, huh? She said, just tell us what you want us to do and we'll get it done. I said, okay, well, the majority of our students that we have here are in the red, which was the lowest rating, and our next level of students are yellow. And Ms. Jackson said we just need to focus on those guys to make them win. So what do you think? She said, well, you know what? Great. I'll order t-shirts. I'll get yellow balloons. We'll have students write their goals. And let's do this. I believe we can do it. And I said, okay. She said, you may not have the legs to run with it. Listen to me. You may not have the legs to run with it, but what you told us, what you envision, what you see, we can get it done. Just work with us. We got you. So we allowed the students to select their own name for the groups, and you may ask why. One student, as we were walking down the hall, he said, "Mr. West, I can't do that." I said, "Come on, man. Yes, you can. Yes, you can." He said, "The smart kids are over there. They're on that hallway. We're not smart." And it just kind of hit me in my heart because I thought, well, who told you that? Who told you weren't smart? And I said, "Come on, guys, we can do this." So we got everybody together. The DES team came along. The ESOL team worked with us. So let's do this, guys. Let's get these students to rise to the point of where we see them at. I may not understand it. Listen to me now. I may not understand it, but once I see it, then we can go from there. So after each assessment, we celebrated. We found a way to recognize them each week. Even if we had to make a name up, we had some celebration, some way to get them to see past where they were. We placed stickers on them that said, "Ask me my Lexile level." Well, honestly, we had to get them to see and know what a Lexile level was, but that's neither here nor there. I'm not saying this tactic will work in every student, with every student, but you can collaborate with your team, come up with something that will work for you, one classroom, one grade level at a time, one step at a time. They cannot see going from red to blue, but they could see moving from red to yellow and then yellow to green. Many were just a few steps away, so we just needed to work with them. We had the after school tutoring programs, Workout Wednesday, Tune Up Tuesday, Flip It Out Friday, whatever we had to call it to get them to come, because it wasn't a gather yourselves together, click your heel 3 times and wake up and you're not in Kansas anymore. It took work, changing the mindsets of the students and changing the mindsets of parents and ourselves. But in the end, it worked one step at a time, one small win. We took another group the next year and moved, many of them moved from yellow to green. Now I didn't say all, but many did see growth, and that was the most important thing at that time, to get them to be able to see where they were and where they could be. We did not ignore our proficient and distinguished students, but the bulk of our progression was going to be in moving the majority of our students up the ladder, one step at a time, one small win. Now, this process of moving our students started a catalyst that eventually caused us to go from number 32 to number 4 in many content areas over a period of years. Not overnight now, but one step at a time. A few small wins lead to big wins. It motivated our staff, it motivated our students, and it taught me a valuable lesson. We just needed to look from where they were. This is for students and the staff who teach them, and to see where we wanted you to go. You'll see improvement, I guarantee you, one step at a time. My morning mantra was 100% of you will show growth, and for that year, they did. What am I saying? If you can reward them each step of the way, and you can get them to speak in words that encourage themselves, if you can get them to see that movement is possible. And that was some time ago, but I use the same mindset now. My morning mantra has always been used to set an intentional and empowered tone for the day. As a leader, how you start the day can set the environment for every staff member and every student who enters your building. If you smile, they'll smile. If you believe, they will believe, even if they never tell you. For the past few years, top of the morning, welcome back to excellence. You know you got it, let's get it, and let's go. I start that day, each and every day, with that morning mantra, that announcement, to set the environment of our students. I speak to them when they arrive on campus. Good morning, how are you? Now, good was typically the answer I received, and this year I had a revelatory moment. I said, I can't, let me see what I can do. You're more than good. Give me something else. I don't want to hear good anymore. Good represents the lowest level of proficiency, and I believe you are distinguished from the top of your head to the soles of your feet. Give me another word. Initially, our officer suggested, how about I'm amazing, I'm phenomenal, I'm superior. You know, when I hear good, I say, no, you're not good. You're better than good. Give me another word. You can have what you say. Now, many will say, I'm amazing, Mr. West. I am great. I am phenomenal. I am focused. I am exceptional. This is the best day of my life. I'm going to ace this test today. That's it. That's it. Speak what you desire. It gets me excited, and it motivates me to look past our students, look past the good and see what I see in you. The goal is to get them to change whatever they may have experienced on the way to school. When you step out the car, you are stepping out as one of our scholars. You are amazing. You can determine what you see. Now, does every student participate? Not yet, but that's not the point. Why, you can have what you say. I just need to keep saying it. If I can get the seed planted inside of them, they can speak themselves up the ladder. My AP told me prior to the break that an 8th grader told her, well, she is learning to change what she says and that her words have power. I was excited, to say the least. I was asked, do you think this will work, Mr. West? I smiled and said, just wait and see. You are the one that can ignite the flames of continued progress in your school or in your life as your level of success grows. Now, your circle is going to decrease. Why? Not everyone is for you. Some are envious of your success and others are jealous of your success. But it's the small wins that will get you where you need to go. Remember, dogs don't bark at parked cars, and as long as you're moving, you're going to have some haters. But one thing that you have to realize is that you and your team can do. That is one step at a time, and celebrate the small wins as you go. I can't wait to hear from you. Thank you for joining me for What Sam Said. And remember now, people who want to see you win will help you win. Never forget that. Thank you for joining me.